Ash calls it the secret. But at some point, people will have to know. It's too much for her, I think, to tell everybody here. I mean, being 8, how do you even explain it?
I was born a male and my name was Ashton, but I say he's an old brother. So that's what I say.
Really? Is that what you think of Ashton as?
Yeah,
an old brother?
Yeah. That died and fell off a cliff.
Children suffering genuinely harmful mental illnesses are being turned away from treatment with the suggestion.
Latest figures, they're astonishing. What is happening?
Our children are struggling to know how to live in today's world.
I just go into this trance of nothingness.
Unprecedented numbers are being diagnosed with mental health disorders, being medicated, or facing a crisis of identity.
When you're somebody else, you just don't feel right.
This is the Tavistock and Portman. For nearly 100 years, it's been at the forefront of exploring young minds.
Basically, all my emotions look angry.
Get off me!
These are big decisions to make, aren't they?
Where are we heading toward?
Do you think about your body a lot?
So what happens in these moments?
I get violent.
No!
Demi?
It's just cutting me open inside.
We've seen more and more young people coming in distress, self-harming, taking risks. Things could get worse, so we need to act now.
There's a line between insanity and sanity, and I have no idea where I'm at.
Come on, babes, I've got your Weetabix here. Come sit on the sofa. Who's a good girl? Have a sit down. You're always tired, Ash.
What's it like when your 8-year-old child sends suicidal text messages to you? What does that do to you as a parent?
Panic probably was the biggest thing. Of like, oh my God, what am I going to do?
A year ago, aged just 7, Ash had a breakdown.
She's saying she wants to be in heaven. She doesn't fit into this world. She's so scared she's going to die and she loves me and doesn't want to leave me. Just thought, right, we're all moving, that's it.
Ash had been bullied after deciding to live as a girl. So Terry quit her job, took all of her kids out of school and moved over 100 miles from Ramsgate to Brighton for a fresh start.
You're not wearing a lot of makeup. You're not even supposed to wear makeup, you're 8.
Okay. I feel like I'm a regular girl, and then I remember that I'm not. But there's something inside of me that's dying to come out, like.
You're so beautiful. Lose the lipstick, you're going to school.
Ash is one of a growing number of children who've been referred to the Tavistock's Gender Identity Development Service for help. Run by consultant psychologist Polly Carmichael, it's the UK's only service for children with gender dysphoria, a profound distress caused by feeling they've been born into the wrong body.
To the Tavistock Clinic and their latest figures, they're interesting. Some might even say astonishing. What is happening?
10 years ago, they had around 40 referrals. Last year, they had more than 1,400.
What's really interesting in this area at the moment is that awareness has raised exponentially over the last year. And in some senses, culture and society are moving faster in terms of what they think they understand about it and what they think we should do about it than the evidence base.
Going up.
They treat children as young as 3. They can give controversial drugs to block puberty and hormones to 16-year-olds that will change their gender.
We don't really know whether this is the right treatment for everyone, whether there are long-term implications of this treatment. But for families and young people, it can be very difficult because they're seeking certainty. But the reality is, at the moment, we don't have certainty.
Can you take off your shoes because you've got wet feet, yeah? Come on then, Oscar. In you go.
Since moving, Ash has refused to tell her new friends she's transgender. Only her teachers know.
5, 6.
How was school today then?
Good. 7.
Good.
8.
Did you?
9, 10, 11.
Did you think about saying anything today to anyone?
No.
No. Why? What do you think's going to happen?
We're gonna have to move again.
Why?
Because if I get bullied again.
Is that what you think's going to happen?
Mhm.
Okay. Do you still want to tell them?
No.
You changed your mind again?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, now let's go up to the table.
Come on then, up the table.
And I'm gonna eat some biscuit.
After being at the school for about 9 days, I suppose, Ash come home. She said, "Oh, I've got a boyfriend." And I thought, "Oh God, okay." And then about a week later, she came out and she went, "He kissed me on the lips." And it makes me uneasy when she says things like that, because I think of how the other parent would feel if she knew.
So over the summer, the family left Ramsgate to move to the outskirts of Brighton. But interestingly, they moved and Ash started at this new school, and the school were really thoughtful, were keen to have training, really keen to support Ash. But Ash went to the school as a girl and no one knew that she was transgender.
I thought you said you've got some good friends in this school.
I do.
Yeah.
I just don't want to lose them. I just don't want to go back to square one.
No.
From my conversations with Terry, Ash really struggled with that. On the one hand, wanting people to know, but on the other hand, just enjoying being
a girl.
Being a girl. But on the other hand, I think there's some sense of a secret about hiding who she was.
Right.
When she first sat on my lap, she was about 3.5, and she was crying. She said, "Mum, please help me. Everyone's saying I'm a boy. It's your fault. You gave me a boy name, that's why I'm a boy. Do you know, when are you going to take me to the doctors so you can take it off?" That was when it was horrible, because she was so little. As she gets older, she's more understanding of the situation, but doesn't want to deal with other people's negative reactions.
I just remember me being in the cloakroom where I hang my coat and then someone just coming out and beating me up. I don't want to tell anyone because I could get bullied again. When I used to be in my old school, I got called a she-male.
That's not very nice.
No.
Ash's decision to live as a girl was met with confusion from many around her and left Terry with a difficult decision to make.
In the past, we would never see people who had transitioned prior probably to secondary school, whereas now we're seeing much younger people making social transitions, and there have been lots of worries about whether if someone makes that total change very early on, if how they feel about their gender changes in some way, is it going to be difficult for them to try something else?
Why would anybody think that a mum would want that for their child? I've never encouraged it, but I've supported it. You just want your child to be happy, but it's not that easy.
Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors.
Rachel and her daughter, 11-year-old Matilda, have been coming to the Tavistock for 3 years. Matilda lives with her mum, 2 sisters and stepdad. She was born a girl, but is showing signs of gender dysphoria and is questioning her identity.
So what we definitely know is that she's going to develop pubertally.
Yeah.
And my sense of where Rachel is at the moment is just that, that she's feeling quite overwhelmed.
There's something about the feeling of it's now or never. So there's this kind of sense
And
it's
it's
going to
like-
be a disaster.
Matilda also has autistic spectrum disorder, or ASD, so finds it hard to communicate.
So there's ASD, there's the gender, and there's a bucket load of hormones chucked in for good measure, which is, you know...
Pretty difficult cocktail.
Yeah, it's horrendous.
It's a really, really hard job you've got.
So far, she has refused to talk to her mum or case coordinators Nikki and Charlie about her feelings.
What we'll do is we'll go to the room we usually meet for sort of half an hour, 40 minutes or so, and see how that goes.
Okay.
Okay. Do you want to come with me now?
Okay. See you in a bit.
We're just at, you know where we are. We're at the room we usually meet.
See you later, Tels. Okay,
I
bye.
might sit here actually,
Yeah,
so I can actually see the clock. Where are you at as a parent? You know, what are the issues that you're struggling with?
When we're out and about and I have to call her Matt, or if we're around people and she's going, call me he.
Yeah.
But then in the house, she's fine with being called she and Tils.
Yes.
And I'm confused by what she, and she just goes, I'm me, all the time.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that I don't want people then to think that I'm suppressing her because I'm not ready to turn around and call her he. But that is me. That's purely down to me, that is. I'm not quite ready to lose Tils.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
I suppose I was just wondering if there are any other things that you're grappling with in addition to the he, she that we should think about.
Yeah,
today.
the whole blocker thing is just worrying me because I guess we haven't got like major studies on, you know, I worry about what am I putting into my child.
Yes.
Rachel has another big decision to make. Whether she'll let Matilda enter puberty and develop into a woman, or use hormone-blocking drugs to pause the process.
One of the thoughts I've had was about meeting with one of our endocrinologists to have a, just as a parent, just so that you can ask all the questions.
That would make me a lot happier to speak to, just
let's
so...
make that as part of our plan.
I think with puberty, there's always a huge amount of anxiety, often from the parent. I think it's really difficult for them to know what to do. To sort of think, oh gosh, if I allow this person to go through puberty, are they going to end up doing something really awful to themselves?
I need to know more about blockers. I need to sit down and actually speak to Matilda when she's in a talking mood. But every time you broach the subject, just completely dismisses it. It's like, I'm not going to speak about it. She's just really, really hard to speak to, but then expresses herself in writing. From a very, very young age, she wrote all over the walls. So I just started buying her loads and loads of books. And she just started to write then.
11-year-old Matilda's ability to communicate is made difficult by autism. But since the age of 6, she's wanted to dress and live as a boy.
Okay, so my name is Matilda, I'm 11 years old. When I feel lonely, I write about how I feel. And then she says that she moved school and she went to this next school, but there was something very wrong, you see, because I had long hair. It was really hard to fit in. And then there's a drawing there, what are you? I am me. She'll just write about random stuff, really. Like, she'll write about Mars and the planets, but then weirdo, it's a brick loser. And I think I know what that's about because the time when she got like a brick chucked in her face. Dear fans, this is your favourite singer. Just wanted to say that my new tickets are coming out soon, so please buy them. Only $17.99 per person, lots of love, Matt.
Around half of all children seen by the Gender Identity Development Service show autistic traits, a link no one can explain.
Well, I guess with ASD type features, there are some young people whose ability to communicate is severely affected. So how do you know that the gender dysphoria isn't like other obsessions they may have?
Because of the autism, she flits between this fantasy world, this really broad, wide imagination, but there's no verbal reasoning. I think that's the biggest thing.
Mommy. Det var som en logo.
Okay, so if you had to choose, are you this one?
No.
Cross that out then. Are you that one?
No, because I'm not a baby anymore. No. Wait.
There's a sense of being a boy, but whether it's more about a fantasy rather than wanting a change in her body. We know that she has an incredible imagination. I don't know whether it's more about the story that she's created about herself.
Don't, because you've got wet hands.
Sorry.
24.
What?
For gender dysphoric children like Matilda, entering adolescence can be a particularly difficult time.
When you see how long you can hold your breath, 3, 2, 1, go. And you think, how can an 11-year-old child be depressed? 19 seconds. You know, have I made her this way? Was it my fault?
Daddy's favourites down there, look. Jelly deals.
Do you ever find it hard telling people?
Not anymore, I used to.
What did you used to say?
I've got 2 boys.
All right, go on.
Ash's dad, Richard, is a builder from Ilford.
I'll have a pot of jelly deals, please.
He's been separated from her mum for several years, but remains a big part of Ash's life.
It was hard at the beginning. She was my firstborn little boy, that's what every man wants, I suppose, and then she wanted to be a girl. It was a lot for me to accept.
Stacked it.
But then she sort of laid down the law, said, if you don't let me dress as a girl, I'm not coming. And that ripped my heart out, really, so I just had to get on with it and accept it. So, and now I wouldn't have her any other way.
After 6 months living in Brighton, Ash is still finding it hard to tell people she was born a boy.
3!
You're beating me, I can't believe it.
She has always been up front, but she's funny. Some days she's really strong, and then other days she's really weak. You can just see the worry in her.
There seems to be kind of a real sense of it's either everybody knows or everybody doesn't know. And I get a sense that it just feels overwhelming and terrifying. So there's this bit of a dance. I really want it to happen. It can't possibly happen. And Ash has also said she wants to be somewhere where all of the kids know about her so she doesn't have to deal with this dilemma. And so the desire is to move.
I want to move back because, like, everybody knows and it's not a big issue, but down here it could be a bigger issue. Down here it's harder for me to keep it a secret.
Having already moved the family once, Terry has decided to move them all back to Ramsgate.
Come on then.
I feel like, oh, why did I even move them in the first place? I've really disrupted them, haven't I?
I guess there's no instruction manual for all this, though, is there?
No. No, I suppose we learn along the way. Do you want to go up the steps?
Yeah.
Come on then.
And it'll be a friend.
What do you think Ash understands as the story of the move to Brighton?
Ash is really quite bright, so I imagine Ash would have some understanding that the move is related to her gender. It's highly likely that the experiences that Ash has had have left Ash feeling internally that there's something wrong with her, that she should feel ashamed about. Who will love me? Who will accept me if I'm seen as someone who's not normal or not okay?
Mum. Yeah. Go to me.
Right, come on then, quickly.
Terry is planning to put the kids back into their old school in Ramsgate, where Ash was previously bullied.
Right, listen, I've got something to tell you guys.
What?
We got the house in Ramsgate.
Yes!
And I've got an email from school. They've got Ash's space ready right now and yours in a little while. You might have to have a week off with Mummy, just me and you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? So what do you think about this?
Good. I'm going to cry.
Don't cry.
Yeah.
Happy?
Yay! Hi, Boo. I got something to tell you. I'm moving home. Really? Yeah.
Bring it on, baby. All your friends, you're the issue, and I love that body. You wanna ball explicit? I swear you're good. I want to your body. You gotta be a best. I wanna see that girl. It's all women and body.
What would be the best thing ever?
Not being how I am.
I think there's only a few things left. Look at the sea. I've got the sea right there.
Oh, what a lovely view.
I love it.
You're back in Rugby. You're back in Rugby.
I can't believe it.
Let the fun begin.
6 months after moving away for a fresh start, Terry and her kids are back in Ramsgate.
Hi guys, shoes off. Do you like it? In you go, in you go. Gone. I well missed you. It's not the same around here. When you're not here, I'm the only girl here. And I'm the only person that doesn't lift up the toilet seat for a wee. How annoying. Do you like it, the house, yeah?
I suppose you don't have to worry about people finding out anymore.
No, because everybody knows. Feel all right about starting school tomorrow? No, but we needed to have a little chat anyway, because you can't bowl in and say, well, I'm back, what you going to do? No. You're not going to do that, are you? Because you will be in trouble if you do that, because do you understand that means you instigate something? Just see it as like a fresh start, just pretend nothing's happened in the past. So you understand that you can't walk in and give it a large one, yeah? Yeah. Good girl, give us a kiss then.
In Wales, Matilda is still refusing to talk to her mum Rachel about how she feels.
You don't like talking about stuff, do you?
No.
Do you want them to make you a real boy, though?
Mummy, I'm trying to do this.
You're not going to talk about it. Give me a kiss. I love you. How much do I love you?
Too much.
Okay. Thank you.
So the child that we're bringing today is Matilda, 12-year-old child, assigned female at birth.
Which one?
In school, she's known as Matt and he.
Can we do the voice as well or not?
Okay, here we go now, darlings. Well, there's a little rewrite here. Act 1, Scene 1, enter the superstitious sorceress.
There's a lack of consistency of gender presentation, and it's very unclear whether Matilda particularly wants to pursue a transition. The child, in a way, is sort of a bit unclear where they are in the world.
And then you lose your temper.
Shut that stupid noise up!
That was good.
She is now apparently sort of starting to show very small signs of her chest developing.
And mum is feeling sort of a real sense of responsibility, but almost pressure to kind of like, she has to make decisions now. And then, you know, either way, if she says yes, it might
I think she
lead...
feels she's going to make the wrong decision.
Yeah.
I think that's the big
Yeah.
thing.
Giving mum an opportunity to become more informed about the medical process might relieve some of
Also,
her
maybe perhaps
concerns.
demystifying puberty a little bit.
Professor Butler, a child hormone specialist, is one of the leading endocrinologists in Britain.
Hello, Peter. Hello. Come in.
As part of the multidisciplinary team, he helps make the decision about whether hormone blockers are right for a young person.
If a young person's expressing extreme disquiet, there can be a choice made to start blocker treatment as long as puberty has begun. But they have to get their head around the whole process of what it means, which is quite a hard concept in any case for a 11, 12-year-old to take, but particularly if there are other distresses around.
For the last 5 years, the Gender Identity Development Service has used hormone blockers to pause puberty in children as young as 11.
If someone is 11 going on 12, they really need to be able to understand the concept to the level of maturity you would expect for a nearly 12-year-old, but also a knowledge about what it means by going on a journey which might end up changing their body permanently.
Although blockers are reversible, the majority who've taken them have decided to use cross-sex hormones at 16, which render them infertile.
There are very strong arguments on both sides. There are people who really would like to see earlier physical interventions, and there are people who feel that it's absolutely mad to be allowing young children to change their bodies in a way that's not fully reversible. I think in the middle, we're really cautious about what we do.
See, the more you talk about it, the more I'm going towards saying that I have to go home and have a conversation with Matt and say, look, this is the issue maybe because...
Done.
In Ramsgate, a decision has been made about Ash returning to her old school.
How'd it go? Brilliant. They both start tomorrow. I can't believe it. They're not putting her back in the same class because of the other child that used to pick on her. They're putting her into the other class. But they did say that that kid's moved on, grown up a bit. She's not going to be happy that she's in the other class. But, yeah, I think she should just be glad to be back. Ash, Archie! Yeah? Come here, guys. I got something to tell you both. Guess what? What? You both start back tomorrow.
Yeah, but what class?
Maybe!
Right.
Mommy, me!
You're in the other class.
Mommy,
Right, listen,
me.
only because... Right.
Mommy,
Right, hold on. And you, Ash, come here.
Hey.
Ash. Ash. I don't want that language, please. You don't cry. You have to go to school. Listen, they said there's no space in your old class.
Yeah, but I like it in that class with all my friends. Now can you just get out?
Don't kick me, mate.
I want to move back to Brighton.
You can't move back to Brighton.
Yes, we can.
We're just going to have to give it a go, aren't you?
I'm not going.
Well, I'll give you a little while to calm down.
I'm not going to school.
Ash, you have to go to school.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
I'm going to school.
You look really pretty. Who's done your makeup?
Ethel.
Don't, Ash.
Out. Now.
What is that
Just
the
get
matter?
out.
Cow. She's not getting her own way. That's what it is. She wanted to go straight back in where she left off. If there's not a space, there's not a space. She's just got to accept it. Don't always get what you want in life. She'll have to deal with it. Simple.
Ash, come here. I need to do your hair. We've got to go in a minute. Come down the stairs. I am coming! Flipping heck. Let's go. Coming up. Oh God, he's wearing sunglasses.
Over the next few days and weeks, Ash's behaviour deteriorates and problems start to arise at school.
Ash has been winding up the boy that she was having trouble with before, which is something I was worried about. She's actually intentionally winding him up so that he'll push her or call her a name. I think she wants him to be in trouble because of how crap he made her feel.
At the end of the day, she at times is winding other people up as well.
Which she does admit, and I've said to her that it's
she
good
does.
that she is.
Yeah, she does admit it. But I don't
admitting
understand
that,
it. Don't understand why she's winding them up.
It's
She
like
found it so hurtful, and it's like she wants them to do it. I just want her just to feel the same as every other kid in the school, even though I know she doesn't.
Tell me about your nightmares.
One of them is when Mum got this mannequin for me, and somehow it like came to life. Started like stabbing teddy bears and like killing things. I was like, what is going on? And then I like smashed my mirrors and turned them into like daggers. And then I woke up crying. I was like, oh, it's just a dream, it's just a dream.
Where do you think Ash is with her gender at the moment?
A bit confused, I think. She seems to think that she's growing breasts. She keeps saying to me, look, Mum, you can feel it. She wants me to feel it and tell her that I can feel lumps there. Because a lot of the time I always want to say to her, everything she says is, yeah, keep her happy, keep her sweet. But obviously I can't say, oh yeah, I can feel it. I can feel the lumps, yeah, you're going to get boobies. I can't say that to her.
Hi Terry, it's Natasha from Gender Identity Development Service. Hi, I'm good, thank you. But I want to give you a call to have a bit of a catch-up, just to actually get a sense of how the move's gone, how Ash is looking back to school. So kind of overconfident and rude, kind of in a cheeky way, or in a kind of slightly naughty way? What do you think's going on in terms of Ash saying about feeling, pain around her breasts and kind of asking, can you get me a bra? So just a sense that she just wants to have been born a little girl and develop like girls would. Just a sense that it actually, on some level it could just all be easy and...
Why are you acting like such an idiot?
Not telling you. When you're somebody else, you just don't feel right. But like when you're somebody you want to be, you feel comfortable.
Do you remember the first time you felt like, I'm not a little boy, I'm a little girl?
Yeah.
Describe it to me.
I felt really, 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 really weird. I felt like I was in the wrong dimension. Like, I shouldn't be here. I should be somewhere else.
What did it feel like when you had to live as a little boy?
Telling a lie. Sometimes I feel like if I stay a child forever, nothing bad will happen. Everyone will understand and nothing changes. But that means if I don't get older, that means nothing really, really good will happen, will it?
Right, come on then. Hi. Hello. It's been a long time since we met each other.
That's what I just said. Natasha's going to be shocked how big you've got. Right little lady now. She's got lots of questions about the blockers that I can't answer for her.
So, lots of questions about the blockers in your body. Are there other things that you would like us to talk about today?
What about your behaviour? Your behaviour change. What do you do when you're angry?
I almost smashed my mirror. It's a huge mirror.
Because you felt so angry?
Yeah. And then I ridiculed me up my arm.
You did, yeah.
Do you know it's coming on, or does it just explode like a volcano?
If I was a volcano, 90% of the time it'd just be lava bursting out my head.
Gosh, that's an incredible picture.
Do you think about your body a lot?
Yeah.
What do you think your body might do at puberty?
If I didn't have the blockers, I would get a moustache, facial hairs and stuff like that.
Is there one bit of that is more worrying for you than anything else, or?
That's very worrying.
Which bit's very worrying?
Without the blockers, it would just be very hard and stuff like that.
Right. Can I ask a private question? Would that be okay? You don't have to answer. I'm just wondering, what you think about the bits down here, because I guess that's something that's different, isn't it?
I mostly ignore what I've got down there. And, yeah.
So is that something that's a little hard to think about?
Yeah.
It looks like it's a bit hard, I'm sorry. Right. So when you're having baths and things, that's something you try not to think about?
Yeah.
Do you think that there's any chance that Ash could have more female hormones now than male? Does that happen?
So
she's just so feminine.
It's very, 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 really very unlikely. Almost never do you find anything such as you're talking about.
Right, okay. Well, I just suppose I just would really like to know why this happens.
But, I mean, in the end, we don't know why. We don't know why people feel how they feel about who they are. And it's your life, your body.
My decisions.
And your decisions, absolutely. So what the blocker does is it jams a signal coming from your brain telling your body to turn on testosterone, yeah? It won't make your body more female. Would you be someone at the moment who thinks they'd like to have the female hormone? Is that right? Is that what you're saying? It is, okay. And I guess that's a really big decision because that's sort of taking you down a path that you can't come fully back from.
You know, some people that are transgender, they change their mind and they decide they want to be their birth gender again.
Some people, not me.
Do you ever think that would happen to you?
No. Well, never.
Do you think you'll be a girl forever?
Yes.
You just tell me what they call you. Just tell Mommy what names they call you. What? But you can tell me anything, do you remember? Boy. What? Boy. Boy. Yeah. What else do they call you?
For years before moving schools, Matt faced daily bullying about his gender. Rachel recorded his reactions as evidence to get him moved.
I don't like it because it says I'm a girl or a boy and I don't like saying.
You don't like saying if you're a girl or a boy, is it?
When she was in a previous school, like all the bullying she went through and stuff has affected her now in the way she may come forward to talk to people, because there's nothing it couldn't describe to you how it would be to see her. I remember this one time I was coming out of school and she opened the door and she ran to me crying her eyes out. The moment she starts answering questions and it opens another question then how do you feel about this, how do you feel about that? I don't think she's ready to answer all them questions.
Do you think you'd ever talk to people about it, Matt? Not even if they could help you? like, even if they could make you feel more comfortable.
She has this very imaginative fantasy world. And I sometimes think that it's almost as if even in talking to somebody that you would destroy that. And Matilda doesn't really want to have that conversation.
With a decision looming on whether or not Matt will take blockers, he is attending the Tavistock for a series of sessions with Charlie.
These are big decisions to make, aren't they? So the thing about the blocker is that you can agree to it, but also you have to make sure that your mum agrees. She wants to make sure that you really understand this. Do you really know what will happen?
For medical intervention to take place, Charlie needs to understand exactly how Matt feels.
Do you know that sometimes, Matt, some people would want to be identified as boys, but have a body that is female? Do you know about that? No. It's all right, you don't need to. Do you feel like you're the only one who's changing? You do? Maybe you feel like you're really different from them?
Kind of.
Kind of. I suppose the thing about the blocker, Matt, is it will just stop things for a bit. It's like putting a pause button on. If you didn't take that, how do you think you would feel?
Kind of sad.
Okay.
I have always wanted to be a real boy since I was able to know my own mind, and trust me, that was a long time ago. To be honest, I see myself as a real boy, but I really do want to be a real boy. I often go to London to the Tavistock Centre where they are going to help me with my situation I'm in, although I just want the blockers now. Maybe Charlie thinks I don't want it because I don't talk about it much, but I really do. It's just I don't like talking about it.
If you went through a full puberty, you would feel kind of sad. Really? Yeah, you're really clear about that, actually.
Would you like people to understand you?
Yes.
I'm at the point where I prefer her to have blockers. And I've always been no intervention. But I think that having breasts would be more damaging than not having them.
I think that Matt was much more aware of the process than he'd ever been before. I think there is some anxiety about puberty and what that means and how he might develop if he went through puberty and feeling that's not what he wants to do. So I think we've got a much clearer picture than we've ever done before.
I think that's really important.
Yeah.
I'm taking the stairs. It's better.
Can you put your bag on your shoulder?
I'm just taking. It's better, Mum. It's better for you, man.
The stairs?
Yep.
She made me do it.
Oh, what's this?
Yes.
I have to guess what this is.
Okay, so it's some special thing that's happened. Could you give us a clue without telling us?
The beginning letter is D.
Is the second letter E?
Yes.
Could it be something about a name? Could it?
Name change.
From Ashton to Ashley.
Does it mean that on the register at school you're now Ashley?
Yeah.
Wow. Do you remember what we talked about last time?
The blockers.
Yeah. So I'm wondering whether afterwards you talked with your mum about
She's
it or...
hardly mentioned it, which I think it must be a lot off of her mind because before she was constantly on about it.
Are there other things that kind of at times Ash will talk to you about or think about in terms of the future or kind of bring up?
We did have about 6 months of having a baby, didn't we? We talked about that a lot.
Well, not 6 months, like a couple weeks.
It was ages. She was kept saying that she couldn't wait to have a baby
Mm.
and made me promise that when she does that I would be there because she couldn't do it on her own and stuff like that.
I can
We've had a big long chat about that, haven't we? And
Because if I
she
go
now
to
knows that she won't
Sweden-
give birth to a baby.
You can actually. If you go to Sweden, get a wound transplant, and then you get cesarean.
She Googles everything.
That's a big thing to be thinking about, isn't it?
If I have a baby though, I'm going to have to have a big scar there.
Why is that?
Because you have to have a cesarean.
Why do you have to have a cesarean?
Because, I don't know.
Right.
Young people can see the sort of information available through social media and on the internet and so on, and they can form an idea of where they want to be, and yet they don't really get, a full understanding of the implications of some of those decisions. It is really important to be checking out with people their expectations of physical interventions, and it's obviously true that they are not the panacea to all things. Womb transplants are quite a new thing.
Yeah.
And I suppose that's one of the really difficult things, Ash, is that we don't know for sure that it would be possible for you.
It might.
I think it's a really important thing to have hope, but I suppose these are the sorts of things we need to find out a bit more about, aren't they? If we create a narrative which is that, it's the end of the world, you can't fully be seen to be a particular gender, if there are things that perhaps don't quite fit, then I wonder what that is we're giving. How far are the physical changes one sees motivated more around feeling that you fit in and are accepted by us?
So, Matt, when I give the injection, would you like a countdown? 3, 2, 1 in, or would you just like me to give it?
3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1. Let's do that. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1.
Huh. I thought it was going to be worse.
That's it.
Do you think Matt will ever change his mind and want to be a girl again?
No. No.
There are always dilemmas around sometimes thinking, gosh, just what are we doing? Just knowing there isn't a right and a wrong and no one has the answers, and this, is a evolving picture really, with many voices contributing. And all we can go on really is that young people who have taken this route feel that it's been, the right thing for them to do.
I'm never going to stop being who I am. Because you should be proud of who you are and who you want to be.